Hey there guys, and welcome back to Major Minor. The thing that makes me sad about life and existence and just so confused about many things. I was a bit of a dick in the last video because I released it at ridiculous in the morning when people aren't used to me releasing videos, and hoped that it wouldn't get to the same numbers that it had gotten to before. Unfortunately, within about 5 hours it had hit over 100 views and over 10 likes. So clearly I have not been doing enough. I am now stating for the record I will not be playing fair to get this series taken on, well, not even taken down, to get this series cancelled. So as soon as I can figure out my next move tactically, I'll be doing that. So yeah, there you go guys, that's my plan. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what we do, what I do for the next one to try and get you guys to not watch it. I won't do anything like, you know, unlist the video or anything like that, you know, but I may do something just as sneaky as releasing it at a terrible time. Anyway, let's get back into this, shall we? Before I stepped out of the limo, I was scared. Rook didn't exactly instill us with confidence. However, upon seeing Akihabara, that changed. I've looked at pictures before. It was in a book. I think it's called a picture book. But as with many other things, pictures don't suffice. Well, what do you think? It's stunning. So where are you taking us? I noticed that Rook quickly scurries off. Is he running away? Well, since I'm told that you two were unable to agree on where we should go, Rook and myself have decided for you. We're going to a place called Arcadia. Arcadia? Isn't that place where cars drive past your house really loudly and annoyingly? One of the biggest arcades in Japan? Why yes. Yes it is. I forgot how fascinating the conversation was in this game. Around the advent of console and PC gaming, it almost went out of business. Hey there, console and PC gamers. Hey, have you heard of a thing called Steam Early Access? It's where fucking shit is released. Unfinished shit, no less. But Klace made a sizable donation to keep it running. So whenever we're around, we get special treatment. I even have my own office there to use as needed. Home away from home. You know, one thing I'll say about this is, like, you see like a story progressing, and you'll see stuff that you feel is fairly superfluous to the story and to the plot. Everything that's being said right now just feels superfluous. It feels like, you know, all of this could have already been cut out. Maybe that's just because I don't care about the plot or the story or anything like that. But, you know, it does. It just all seems superfluous. That's really cool. I heard about that. The donation was kept anonymous, though. Yeah, Klace doesn't like publicity. He prefers to keep things quiet. But either way, it's not much further. Follow me and stay close. I'd have for you two to get... I'd hate. How... Okay, T is at the top of the keyboard, V is at the bottom. How did you do that? Jade led us down the crowded streets of Akihabara? I can't remember how to pronounce it, fuck it. I could tell why they called it Electric Town. It's cause there's lots of electronics there. The streets and stores were just brimming with light and technology. Keela is also astounded. Not much further, it's pretty close. Well, that's convenient. Yeah, easily accessible. It's also good for business that it's one of the first buildings you see. Even if it's not as, it looks dull. Keela was right. Every other building seemed so colourful and bright. But this one, it looked so dull and inconspicuous. Looked more like a warehouse. Okay. I'm just gonna pull this up very quickly because I'm pretty sure if we just go over here, right, and then we go to the Steam store page for Major Minor, please. It has 21 positive reviews and 5 negative reviews. Yeah. Apparently no one's found the positive reviews helpful, which may just be like... People have found the negative reviews helpful. They have not found the positive reviews helpful, so... I guess there you go, guys. The people have spoken. Anyway, I hope you change your mind when you see what it looks like on the inside. Didn't your parents teach you inside matters most? Yeah. They're like, dude, all the foreplay and shit is just terrible. You know, that's not important. You gotta penetrate a bitch. She motions towards the door. We move towards it as instructed. After a dramatic pause, we slowly walk inside. Welcome to Arcadia. Dude, at least be a little bit excited. I mean, I know this is boring as fuck, but at least be a little bit excited. He says it quite loudly and with a dramatic flair. Wait, did he come ahead just to make our entrance more dramatic? What a penis. That is such a Rook thing to do. I mean, I've only known him for about the 5 minutes we've been in the limo together, but man, I know Rook. Like, I know Rook for 5. Thank me later. Not many people get to Arcadia with such finesse. Welcome to our home away from home. Home? Yeah, we pretty much live here. For the reasons I mentioned before, which is probably the reasons I mentioned them before. The only price we have to pay is cleaning. Rook, make sure to show them a good time. And I mean buy them prostitutes and get them blow. I have some things to attend to in my office. I'm gonna masturbate. Oh, sheepy. No, thank you. I don't find griffins attractive, sorry. Come and see me before you leave today. No, seriously, like, not my thing. You know, I'm sure beaks do it for some people, but... Something I'd like to show you. Are you fucking serious? Bitch. Back down. No means no, alright? Jesus. She smirks at me before walking away. Dude, Rook, can you do something about this bitch? So, as you can see, this is pretty much heaven on earth. Sure. Any video game you want, we have it here. No joke. I noticed that Rook is typing away on his tablet while talking to us, but he's doing it so efficiently that you couldn't take offense. I don't know. It's pretty easy to take offense nowadays. It takes some serious skill to multitask that well. I bet you can suck 2 dicks at the same time, right? Wow. Do you have Background Brawler too? Not only that, we have... Oh, Back Road Brawler 2. Turbo! I recommend that one myself. I'm quite a fan. Awesome! One-on-one, Rook. I'll pound your butthole. I'm calling it now. It's out of order. What? You mean both of them? I must have been a little too vigorous with the joystick last time I played. But Jade doesn't like it when I go easy on her. She really likes me to ride that ass. She puts up quite a good fight. Jesus fuck, she's undefeated. Oh, that sucks. Indeed it does, but we have something else that will be fun to play. Follow me. He leads us over to a big machine that says UFO Claw Game on it. Wait, I think I've seen this machine in video games and anime before. You've never truly experienced a Japanese arcade until you've played a UFO Claw Game. Aren't these just like those claw games we have back home? The ones that give you stuffed animals? They're almost always rigged. The toys would always fall out of the claw under their own weight. Well, I'll have you know that we don't rig games here at Arcadia. Besides, if you look at the machine, you'll see that all the animals are small in size, so they don't fall out. And the claw has a UFO around it, so it has a motif. It's like you're abducting those cute little bears. I mean ugly little creatures. Rook immediately steps behind me and pushes me towards the UFO Claw Game. He doesn't realise that I barely know him and that being overly friendly and invading my personal space is a threat, so I spit acid in his face. I have no idea what animal I am, but I assume I can spit acid. He grabs my paw and places it on the joystick firmly, rubbing the shaft, cradling balls. Just play. Forget you heard anything. I really have no choice, so I proceed to play this little game. Apparently, I'm an alien spacecraft. I identify as an alien spacecraft abducting tons of little teddy bears from their hometown of Teddyville. Because I'm just cool like that. Seems simple enough. Keela and Rook watch me with such ferocity that you would assume they're watching an Olympic sport. I look around for the head of a bear. It's easier to get them if you wrap the claw around their head, gently working the shaft, cradling the balls. My tongue slips out of my mouth. Are you fucking kidding me? As if this task requires the utmost precision. After lining up the claw, I press the button. I play with the button. I lick the button with my outstretched tongue. And that's it. I win. Wow. They could have at least made up a mini-game or, like, anything. I mean, that's the most telling thing about this so far. You know, they clearly care about the details of the characters and the interactions and things like that. It's not good, but they clearly care about that stuff. But they clearly don't care about the actual game. Because, you know, this is just reading. You know? Yeah, visual novel, blah, 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 whatever. But I like some game to my game. I'm crazy like that. It drops the teddy bear into a little chute, and the machine plays some sort of victory fanfare. That was extremely anticlimactic, because no one climaxed. This is Rook's measure of a true Japanese arcade experience. It was pretty dull. Congrats! Not many people can win on their first try. Go on, take your prize. You've earned it. I nod and lean down, grabbing the small teddy bear from the chute. It's extremely fluffy, but it seems cheaply made, like it could fall apart at any moment. But I guess I won it. That was pretty cool, I guess. It's nowhere near as intense as the battle in Backroad Brawler 2 would have been. Well, we don't have the luxury to pick and choose. Not every game works. Also, you have yourself a great souvenir. Keep that safe, and you'll always remember the time you won big in Arcadia. I don't think this qualifies as winning big. In fact, I don't really like or care for this bear at all. I don't think this is something I'd keep. I wonder, should I give it to Keela? Or perhaps it would help deepen my bond with Rook? Either way, I don't think this is something I'd keep. Maybe they'd enjoy it, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to seem unsentimental. I'll keep it for myself, fuck it. I'm not even reading this at this point, am I? I decided to keep it on me for now. I don't want to seem like I don't value memories. Those are the worst kinds of people. I'll find something to do with it later. But before I can even do or say anything, I hear a phone ring abruptly. Rook's ear perks up and he reaches for his pocket. Excuse me for just a moment. This may be important. He leaves Keela and I to socialise while he tends to his phone call. You know, I expected someone this high up in showbiz to be taking calls constantly, but all that seems to be happening is we seem to be sitting around talking about shit that really is unimportant as far as I can tell so far. But he's only taken one in the entirety of our time together, which is probably about 5 minutes. That seems pretty low maintenance. What's his actual job title? That's something I should ask. Is it Fanny? So, what do you think of this place? I think it's cool, but there's no food, and it seems like they just wanted to brag. Like, honestly, I'm famished. And instead of going anywhere food related, they just wanted to show off their arcade. I nod in agreement before noticing a fierce rumble in my stomach. That vibrator I'd stuck up my arse a couple of days ago was starting to run out of batteries. Honestly, I haven't even thought about food for the last 12 hours. Suddenly, I'm starved. I wonder if Jade has anything in her office. I meant office. I remember that she wanted to see me before we left, but I'd already established that I wasn't interested, so I probably shouldn't go there. We're not about to leave, but Rook may be occupied for the next little while. Should I go see her? I mean, we kind of have to. I want to see what happens. I let Keela know that I'm going to take Jade up her butthole. Up her orifice while we wait for Rook to finish his phone call. Keela nods. Probably for the best. Who knows how long he's going to be. While I wait, I guess I'll try to win my own toy. I heard the rumbling and it sounds pretty pretty pleasurable. I start wandering towards the general direction Jade did when she left us earlier. But this place is huge. Eventually I find a small door hidden in the back. It leads to a single stairway which has a wooden door at the end of it. The wooden door is red, and there's a little knob on it. This must be Jade's room. I slowly ascend the staircase and open the door, only hoping that it leads to Jade's orifice. When I arrive in Jade's office, I see her at a bookshelf, with her back where... Okay, so when it was describing the office, what I heard was wooden door, and, you know, it was like upper back. This is not that office. This is like a stock office taken from some ridiculousness, basically. So someone found an office image and then blurred it to make it look and then made it look a bit cartoony. When I arrive at Jade's office, I see her at a bookshelf with her back turned towards me. Okay, technically, okay, I'm not even gonna. Let's keep going. I decide to call out her name to get her attention. Oh, hey there. I didn't expect you to come so soon. This is really disappointing. Should we try again in 20 minutes? My apologies for not being ready to receive you. Her. I let her know that Rook is taking a call, so I decided to come see her while I waited. I inquire as to what she wanted to show me in private. I'm very nervous, and I can't help shake this feeling, like this whole thing's gonna turn into some really bad porn. Well, actually, I have a couple of questions to ask you first. Have you been tested? She takes a deep breath, as if she's about to make a speech she's rehearsed 1,000 times. But what she says catches me completely off guard. Do you believe in other worlds? You know, like a parallel universe? I don't know what to say. I just stare at her dumbfoundedly. What kind of question is that? Well, let me explain it like this then. Let's say I flip a coin, and let's say it lands on heads. Are you willing to believe that another reality exists where the coin lands on tails? Again, I'm not sure what to say. I don't believe in coins, or coin flipping. I think it's all bunk. I'll take that silence as a no. That's assumption-y. Clearly I was thinking about it. Well, allow me to continue without letting you talk, because if you could talk, then, you know, there'd be choices and shit, aside from really unimportant ones. If I flip the coin and hold my hand over top to conceal what side it landed on, this is where it gets interesting, because neither of us have observed the result. Really? You're gonna fucking Schrodinger's cat me? Jesus, man. It is both heads and tails at the same time. Until it is revealed, there is a moment in time where we exist in both realities at once. The heads universe and tails. What about the universe where it lands on its side? What about the universe where it keeps flipping and then turns into a small tortoise? Therefore, it is impossible to deny the existence of multiple realities, since we are able to place ourselves at an apex. Incidentally, my apex is begging for cock. Please ram me. An apex being the topmost point, like a fork in the road. How is a fork in the road the topmost point? A fork in the road is not a topmost point. That is absolute bullshit. Fuck you. The point before the reality you'd end up in is decided. But with that being said, there needs to exist a reality or universe where I decide not to toss the coin at all. There would have to be a universe where I never came to my office. There would have to be a universe where we didn't come to this arcade, a universe where you didn't win that contest, a universe where we were never born, a universe where the dinosaurs never went extinct. This is getting... The more you branch out, the crazier it can get. But these realities must exist because of the coin toss. Are they... Okay, are they just validifying the fact that this universe exists where there's still, like, Tokyo and shit, but everyone's an animal, and this bitch is apparently a griffin? It's a thought experiment I created while writing my thesis paper. I have glasses, so I'm smart. It won several awards, but I think it's really silly that I won anything. When you write about quantum mechanics, you can just ad-lib everything. It's akin to creative writing. Oh, good one. It's all theory with no practice, but that's what makes it such an enticing field of study. There's a way to prove anything you can think of. I blink a few times, at a loss for words. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I must sound insane. I get that a lot when I talk about quantum mechanics. But I can assure you, it will all make sense shortly. One moment. She moves to her desk and sits down. So I sit down in a chair across from her. She scatters a few papers across the desk. I've been trying to use my studies to find a deeper meaning behind the midnight deaths. It's really puzzling me. I know Rook told you all about them on the limo ride here, because I was listening. And quite frankly, it doesn't really make any sense. But because it makes no sense is precisely why I'm attracted to solving this mystery. That's just how I am. She pushes a newspaper clipping towards me. It's an article about the victim of one of the midnight death incidents. This one here. He died of a gunshot wound to the head. But there was no gun to be found in the area. There was a bullet, however, so this one was excusable. It goes on to get even more bizarre, however. How is that bizarre? Like, it's very easy for a dude to take the gun with him. Like, no gun at a murder scene where there's a bullet is not that bizarre. Oh, God. She takes out another newspaper clipping and puts it over top of the last one. This victim hung himself, but there was no noose found. He was found on his floor. None of the methods of death match up with the surrounding environment of the incident. It makes no sense. That really did make no sense. But then there's one incident here that really caught my eye. Because everyone was on guard when midnight came around. There's someone who survived. They were on the verge of becoming one of the victims but made it through. She showed me one final newspaper clipping. He reported loss of breath, like he was being strangled or suffocated. But it suddenly stopped. It matches the other victim who had hung himself. No noose. He didn't even own a rope. But get this, his neck was injured, exactly like it would have been if he was actually the victim of a hanging. Were he to actually die, it would have matched the other victims entirely. So I'm guessing that, you know, in other parallel worlds, you know, there's an instance where people are, you know, someone's like the same version of you is hanging themselves, and then it kind of like just slaps together through all the worlds, and there's like a ripple effect. I'm pretty sure that's where they're going with this. But since he survived, well, you know what they say about dead men telling no tales. Since this one survived, I think we can use his story. That is fucking fascinating. And that is precisely what I want to do. If I can come up with something credible enough, however incredible it may seem, perhaps I can clear Klace's name. The kid doesn't deserve to be blamed for something completely beyond his control. I agree. The one survivor explained a certain phenomena while he was unable to breathe. His mind was overtaken with memories that were not his own, yet were his own at the same time. That's how he described it. Now you know why I explained my theory to you earlier. It's because I want to apply that to the midnight deaths. I believe that something is happening at midnight that causes multiple realities to coincide with each other. And if the other person happens to be dead in the other world, then they perish quite the same way in ours. No, it's if they kill themselves. You know, if they're dying or getting murdered or whatever, it happens here as well. Like the events of a parallel universe are catching up to them somehow. I know this doesn't explain the murder aspects at all. It's my theory that those are entirely unrelated cases. The murder cases were always plain murder. Though no culprit has been found for the murders, they do not have such mysterious circumstances around them. If someone is shot by a killer, of course there would be no gun to be found. Well, there could be a gun to be found. And that is why I'm treating them as different events, with my theory for the suicides a little more strange. My theory is that worlds are colliding, and the colliding world's history is overriding our own. But I'm not able to theorize why these acts only happen. So why are you talking to me and not at all to the squirrel mouse? Is there any sort of window? Is there some sort of window involved? Anyway, what do you think? I tell her that it makes sense, yet it makes absolutely no sense at the same time. Haha, yeah. That's how you know it belongs in the realm of QM, Sheepy. I really wish I hadn't chosen the name Sheepy, just something else that was not at all connected to me, so I could feel like this wasn't happening to me right now. I hate you guys. And when is the save? While making no sense at all, there is really no way to prove it wrong. What an interesting thing to study, I thought. She was right, though. I really couldn't prove her theory wrong. She had a tangible line of thought, even though that's all it was. So, that's really all I wanted to show you. I wanted you to know that I am not taking these incidents in stride. I will do my best to free Klace from all the suspicion he's come under, and so you can enjoy Tokyo openly. I thank her for the interesting lesson and for trying to help us all. As weird as her theories and field of study were, it was nice to see someone sensible. She's not easily frightened like Keela, nor is she judging anyone like Rook. It was a very nice middle ground, and I hope to see more of her in the future. If you'd let me return to my studies, perhaps I can have something more concrete later tonight. She takes out her phone and places it on the table. Would you mind exchanging contact information with me? I'll be sure to report any findings to you promptly. We spend the next few moments exchanging information. You got Jade's contact information. I leave her to her own studies and head back to the arcade. Rook and Keela are nowhere to be found, so I decide to look for them outside. Ah, here we go. Oh, thank fuck. Okay, so next video I will be trying to trick you guys and be a mean little bastard butthole. And hopefully this will end. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And let's face it, at this point, you probably fucking owe me. And I'll see you in the next one.